Happy Tuesday. It is June 9th, 2026, and you're in tune with the Valley's Morning News. Also at the free app called Radio Para Mi. Go get it and listen to 710K URV on your smartphone. I'm Sergio Sanchez, along with show producer Fred Cruz, AccuWeather and meteorologist Jason Caterina. He's on standby. And let's see if he's got any rain in the forecast today. We had some in a few areas yesterday. Also, a look at the tropics to see if anything's on the Pacific side going to cross into the Gulf, maybe come into Texas or Mexico sometime next week. So we'll have that tropical discussion with him in about 3 minutes. So join us for that conversation. A Navy sailor, culinary specialist, third class Jeremiah Copeland, pleading guilty to charges connected to the death of a Brownsville native, petty officer, third class Angelina Descendis. This note coming to us from Norfolk, Virginia. Copeland pleaded guilty to murder, aggravated assault, and other charges, and is expected to be sentenced likely today to no less than 40 years and 2 months in confinement at a disciplinary facility in Kansas. It's 7:07 on News Talk 710 KURV. More cases of New World screwworm confirmed. 4 in Texas, 1 in New Mexico, says USDA. Governor Greg Abbott is doubling down on New World screwworm eradication efforts, as we heard yesterday that Canada is temporarily banning all imports of Texas beef.
Some are blasting Canada for overreacting to the screwworm news.
There's a food production issue, but not a food safety issue.
Meantime, Governor Abbott is ordering the completion of a sterile screwworm fly production facility in Edinburgh by next May and is welcoming imports of sterile flies from Panama and Mexico by the millions.
This is likely to spread over the course of the summer. During winter months, it may kill off the flies or reduce their number. We cannot make it through a second summer.
It's 7:08 on News Talk 710 KURV. Meantime, reaction from President Trump's Ag Secretary saying that the Trump administration is taking the threat of this invasive flesh-eating insect seriously.
Brooke Rollins says that tens of millions of dollars has been spent on a sterile fly facility, which is seen as key to stopping the invasion.
Sterile flies mate with the New World screwworm flies and prevent them from reproducing.
Later this week, she'll visit the Texas border area that has become ground zero. There have been 5 confirmed cases, 4 in Texas, 1 in New Mexico. The screwworm fly lays eggs in open wounds and left untreated in livestock can cause death within days. I'm Mark Mayfield.
And the Men's College World Series field is finally set.
Alabama beat St. John's 7-2, and Oklahoma took down Kansas 13-2 to advance to Omaha. The double elimination tournament is set to begin on Friday. West Virginia and Troy will play Game 1, followed by a matchup between North Carolina and Ole Miss. The next day, Alabama and Oklahoma will face off, as will Georgia and Texas. I'm Tammy Trujillo.
It's 7:09. It is AccuWeather time, and I want to say thank you to Dougie and all the gang over at Martin Farm and Ranch. Heard about Martin's? Your herd will thank you for getting what they need, the nutrition they need. Balanced mineral nutrition for your herd at Martin Farm and Ranch. Say hi to Dougie from us if you stop by. AccuWeather meteorologist Jason Caterina is joining us. Got a little bit of rain in a few spots here in Mission, McAllen. Had a little bit of rain. Did you see anything interesting on the rain reports, either from the airports or?
Yeah, nothing really. McAllen reporting just over a tenth, but that's really about it.
Yeah,
there's a couple of spots off into nothing land that got a little more, but
yeah, it was a little more in a few spots. Yeah, that McAllen report is at the airport. They hardly got anything.
Yeah. You got to remember, like, those things that's a pinpoint measurement in one spot. So, the other day, it looked threatening at my house, and I'm like, boy, it really looks like it's going to rain. Literally 2 streets over, it poured, and it was dry at my house. So, these gauges are one spot, so it could go across a different part of the airport, and you'd have an inch on the other side. But yeah.
5 minutes later, you look down your street. There's FEMA trucks going over to the other side of town.
Yeah,
they're responding to the flash flooding.
Yeah, like, we went out to go to get gas, and like I drove along, and I'm like, all of a sudden the road is wet, and I'm like, well, that's weird.
The tropics, Pacific side busy in Mexico and also Central America. So that energy jumping into the Gulf and then headed this way, or what's
the forecast right now to stick on the West Coast? You got Boris, which has been downgraded to a depression, and Christina, which is a tropical storm right now. Boris is north of Tehuantepec, and Christina is south of it. So they're both forecast to stick on the West Coast for now.
Okay. Well, okay, we got there was another. I think it was your page. The AccuWeather page pointing to a high pressure system that's pushing everything south, keeping it on that side and preventing it from coming into the Gulf.
Let's
on your page.
Throw my different map on here.
Yeah. Either way, it's not going into the Gulf, so don't worry.
Yeah. No, there's a high over central Mexico that's keeping everything
just pushing it
pushed against there. Yeah, and that's on the south edge of another area of high pressure that's off over New Jersey right now. So,
hey, are we done with the rain? Or do we still have like a 20-30% chance somebody gets a surprise today?
I think maybe a surprise tomorrow, but I think today we're pretty much done with it at this point. But not to say that something can't pop up with the sea breeze and the moisture and the east-southeast surface winds and everything else. But, with that ridging in there, it should suppress quite a bit of that. So I wouldn't really expect anything today. But
the AccuWeather forecast from Jason Caterina and crew at AccuWeather should be mid-90s today and back to the 80s tonight. Well, that's where we are, 80 to 81. We're at 81 at Starbase and also at 80, 81 McAllen, Edinburgh, and Mission. On this, let's see here what's on the calendar. This is how I learned to drive. It's a National Forklift Day.
Nice.
Yeah, my dad used to take me to the scaffold company that he used to run, and I'm sure I broke all sorts of safety rules and federal rules. I was 14 years old driving that forklift all over the place. Let's see, on the menu, it is National Strawberry Rhubarb Pie Day. Well, that's a lot of sugar, man. I can just feel that coursing through my veins right now. All right, pal. That's AccuWeather meteorologist Jason Caterina. We'll speak with him next hour. Take a look at the tropics and take a look at Texas weather as well. Coming up at about 16, 17 minutes after the hour, we have our friends at CoStep, and they got a new report on what economic development entities and counties and cities, what they should laser focus on when it comes to recruitment of industry. We need more manufacturing. That's going to create all the spin-off jobs. So that conversation coming up in about 3 minutes. So join us for that. The resignation of Texas top election official has some individuals worried of what might be next. After all, this is an election year.
There's a rush to find a new Secretary of State before the midterms. Josh Finley with the Election Protection Project says the nation's eyes are on the race for Senate, and people need to have confidence in the results.
To do that, they need to have confidence in the election process. And the Secretary of State guides the election process in Texas.
He says we need a Secretary of State who feels that no amount of fraud is acceptable, and he does not think it will be difficult to get someone on the job before November.
That's Michael Board with that report. This is the Valley's Morning News on News Talk 710 KURV. Several entities in the area all rowing in the same direction, trying to recruit more industry to South Texas. Among them is CoStep. Got a chance to speak with one of their top chiefs. Going to share that conversation with you next on what economic development entities should be laser focusing on these days. Yeah, it's manufacturing, everything that feeds into manufacturing. That's next on the Valley's Morning News.
Giving your liver a spring cleaning is easy with Active Liver from New Nordic. Search for Active Liver by New Nordic on Amazon, CVS, Wegmans, or GNC.
Funny how you don't notice the little things until they get hard. Things like buttoning a shirt, cooking a simple meal. That's when I called Healthcare Unlimited for my parents years ago. HCU, Healthcare Unlimited, serving all of South Texas since 1990, the highest quality rated home care agency in the entire region. They can send a caring attendant to help with daily tasks right at home and still feels independent. If your loved one needs help at home, call Healthcare Unlimited at 956-994-9911 and mention you heard it on 710 KURV.
If you're looking to improve your overall health and have a better quality of life, Dr. T's Primary Care is the place to go. If you feel tired or stressed or less motivated, if you're moody or if you have trouble sleeping, Dr. T's Primary Care will evaluate you and work with you to address your health concerns, including testosterone or menopause treatment, peptide treatment, IV vitamin infusions. Their licensed staff will take the time to listen to you and work with you to improve your overall health. Check out the website, drtsprimarycare.com. Give them a call in McAllen at 956-803-0058 and Harlingen, 956-368-5247.
This is Michael Berry, host of The Michael Berry Show, weeknights starting at 6. Thank you, Rio Grande Valley, for listening to News Talk 710 KURV.
News Talk 710 KURV is your one and only station in South Texas for Houston Astros play-by-play. So they're on the left coast, the west coast. They're playing the Angels. 810 broadcast tonight made possible by Dr. T's Primary Care for men and women. A bit of advice for local decision makers, folks who are in the business of attracting industry and businesses and retails and warehousing, all that stuff to South Texas economic development offices, the county judges, the mayors of cities. A bit of advice from the good folks at COSTEP, the Council for South Texas Economic Progress. Adam Gonzalez, CEO from COSTEP, has a new report. They put together a new report for this year on what local leaders should be focusing on. So it's a comparison, I understand, between manufacturing and, as I mentioned, warehousing, storage facilities, retail as well. Adam, welcome back to the program. So this sector investment portfolio comparison study, tell me about what led you to put this together with the team over at COSTEP.
Well, as you well know, COSTEP has been very focused in the last 6 years in trying to attract more manufacturing to the region. I think we're garnering, a lot of traction with the recent announcements that we've had for the region. And so we had been already working on this report for quite some time to try to show the differences and the economic impact that manufacturing has on a region. But then we went a little bit step further. We compared it to warehousing, which is also a big staple of our region, and retail, of course, which is always something that's being attracted to the region. So we wanted to, just conduct a study that would show the relationship between the three and also the economic impact and really what we should be focused on as a region if we want to expand it more in the manufacturing arena and what the impacts would be from that.
Yeah, the message to local decision makers and the write-up that you provided that they need to focus on manufacturing, get more manufacturing. And you at COSTEP watching the RGV and Laredo as a region doing analysis for both. I would imagine just a quick look at Laredo. They're very heavy in Laredo on the logistics and warehousing side, right? That there's really, I don't think there's as much manufacturing there, especially on the Mexican side or the U.S. side compared to what we have in the Valley now and likely on the way, correct?
Yeah, I mean, Laredo has always been very heavy on the warehousing and logistics. They're the largest land port, not only in our region, but actually in the nation. And so, but they've expressed as well, the want to attract more manufacturing to that part of the region. As you well know, we call our region Real South Texas, which includes both the RGV and the Laredo region together.
There was some months back, we had a conversation with you about auto clusters and your focus and analysis of auto clusters. Being so close to San Antonio within couple of 100 miles, we could definitely benefit from that, maybe feed into that. The word of a second manufacturer up in San Antonio for Toyota, the heavy equipment manufacturer on the south side of San Antonio. Do you see any movement? Because you speak with these EDC directors and decision makers down here and in San Antonio. Do you see developing synergy, maybe potential growth in supplier relationships between the Valley and Central Texas, San Antonio, that's not that far away, and increasing the number of jobs that are in auto manufacturing? Elon Musk is also announcing a new type of vehicle he's building at his super facility up there. So what do you hear? What do you see as far as the Valley joining San Antonio in this auto cluster?
Yeah. Our focus has been with the auto clusters and the aerospace clusters and technology clusters in Mexico right now, where we have been bringing them for what we call FAM tours, familiarization tours. And, we've had Guadalajara here, we've had Mexico City, NAPSA has been here, Index has been here. So our job as COSTEP is to bring folks in, showcase the region and the opportunities that exist here. They are very interested. All these companies are very interested in manufacturing and the supply chain. A lot of their products are currently being delivered, within the U.S. or Canada, or even South to Central and South America. But, the majority of their products are crossing here to the U.S. and they use our region primarily to cross through the region. There's no reason why they couldn't establish some sort of an expansion project here. And continue to manufacture on both sides of the border, and continue to supply their OEMs and their tier 1, tier 2 folks up in here within the nation and in Canada.
Adam Gonzalez is the CEO of COSTEP. That's the Council for South Texas Economic Progress, and he and the crew at COSTEP put together a comparison study. It's like a sector investment portfolio is what they call it, of the area: manufacturing and warehousing, storage, retail, some of the engines of the economy of late. We've been so blessed here in South Texas to see tier 1 manufacturing and traditional energy, big investment from them. Of course, aerospace, Elon Musk, and we got folks that are about to send some fancy schmancy computers and screens and tech gear for General Motors, the Vallejo folks here, and other folks that are coming to the area, quickly feeding into that as well. You provided in your report a quick comparison, like, for example, manufacturing benefits the economy, GDP, and you did a comparison like 2.5 times more compared to warehousing, things like that. Maybe run some of the numbers for us real quick.
Yeah, I mean, the biggest outlier out there is job creation. The indirect job creation. Some of the things that we had to do for the report is put all three industries in a level playing field. With a certain level of investment. Again, it doesn't have the big outlier came. We compared the $1 billion investment. If we were to get an additional $1 billion investment in manufacturing, it doesn't have to be one manufacturing operation. It could be multiple in multiple parts of the region. But the big outlier is the employment multiplier, 3 times more per manufacturing job, which is 2.5 times to 2.8 times more regional jobs will be created through manufacturing. I'm not saying we don't need warehousing. I'm not saying we don't need the retail. We need it to work in tandem. But the real focus, in every region that we have studied and that we've analyzed, is the manufacturing jobs create a lot more of an impact, both on the employment side multiplier, on the GDP multiplier, and almost, again, 5 times more the economic output of a region. We have always talked about the brain drain that we've had here in the region. We educate our students, our residents, and they end up leaving for other jobs within the state or within the nation. And a good way to keep them here is, of course, creating, higher wage jobs that have a lot more economic output, and which will complement, the warehousing, logistics, and also the retail side of it.
And the short of it, when you put together, for example, you expressed a basic number on the manufacturing side. You said that, and I'll just round it out, for about 400 jobs that are direct jobs that come from an industry, there are more than 10 times indirect jobs that come as a result of it. Now, I was thinking like LNG. That's LNG. That they'll have probably like 500 permanent jobs, something like that.
Yeah, that's the number that we made here. I think that number's increased a little bit because now they're had approved additional trains and things like that. So,
but they created like 6,000, 8,000 jobs, something like this, like 10 times, the building jobs, the indirect jobs, the temporary jobs to build the thing, right, and bring it about, put the materials together. Those are the indirect jobs, right, that you're talking about, like building the structures.
Well, no, I mean, I think when you look further a little bit in the report, they're also talking about the amount of jobs, the building, the warehouses, or the manufacturing operations. The jobs that are going to come are really down the supply chain. These manufacturing operations require, suppliers, additional suppliers, and things like that would need to come, closer and start manufacturing closer to these or larger manufacturing operations.
Mm-hmm.
So these are not just the construction jobs. If from a $1 billion investment, the assumption was that it would create 2,500 jobs, and the total indirect jobs that are coming from it are almost 7,000, jobs altogether. A little bit over 6,000, almost 7,000 jobs that would be created for the manufacturing operation.
It would seem that just by the inertia, just sheer inertia of what is here now at the port, for example, of course, with Elon, of course, Tier 1 around this area over in McAllen Mission, it would seem that that's going to be the norm now. More manufacturing. That's the focus. These folks at EDC, right? That's the focus now, is Tier 1 or anything complementing Tier 1 in the area, which would affect education then. So how do you see it affecting education? And are we keeping up on the education side to provide that pipe engineers, everything that we need for the permanent jobs in the near future?
Yeah, I mean, there definitely has to be a coordination, with workforce pipelines, and to develop around the manufacturing operations, which creates higher wages and again, more jobs for the region. I think there's a lot of efforts going around. We got the tri-agency conveners that are trying to align workforce pipelines. We have an effort also with the Binational Higher Education Advisory Council that we put together, where we're doing an inventory of the educational system, the higher educational system, so that we can help and provide data to help align those systems to the manufacturing that we want to attract.
What is your invitation to the high level, high skilled manufacturing that's out there? What is in the end, what is the bold invitation, as you had mentioned?
Well, to outsiders that are listening in, that we are ripe for manufacturing. I think we had our corridor here, between Laredo and Brownsville is definitely a good place to establish. And we've had experience, maybe not as much on the South Texas side, the counties in South Texas, but we do have manufacturing operations here, and they have been in aerospace, automotive, medical device, energy for more than 60 years. So we are not new to this, and we want the world to know that we have a fertile ground here and plenty of land and good amount of workforce pipeline, and a young workforce pipeline that can help meet their needs in the manufacturing arena.
Yeah,
schools, EDCs, and governments are ready to work with them to help them establish here in the region.
Yeah, there is a synergy between education, the colleges, the region, public education, university systems as well. It's good to see. I'm not going to say it's new, but it has evolved to this point where there is a synergy. And I'm glad you addressed the resources, because there's several reports out there on water and energy. It can be done. There are solutions for that. The nearshoring opportunity, just a final comment from you. How big, how short is the nearshore opportunity? Because that's very popular right now to manufacture on the U.S. side. What's the window? 3 years, 4 years, 5 years? What would you say? Because
the report speaks to about 5 years. We have a 5-year opportunity here, and that could be extended. These are estimates. These reports are made with a lot of assumptions. Okay, and I think we have a 5-year window to really put ourselves on the map as a manufacturing mecca that we should be, and try to bring additional manufacturing operations. Suppliers, I think, are the low-hanging fruit at this time from Mexico, and we should definitely continue to work that. We definitely know Europe is looking our way, Asia, is looking our way. So we definitely need to, put our best foot forward as a region and put ourselves on the map and start bringing those folks down so they can, become familiar with our region and create those synergies between real South Texas and the rest of the world.
You're real gentle and real subtle on the 5-year window, and it's all based on the political decision-making culture in places far, far away up in Washington, D.C. And right now we have a culture that favors U.S. manufacturing. And so long as we can keep it after 5 years, I'm sure we can continue recruiting. But right now is the time to go harvest, I would imagine. Go get them. Go harvest. Go attend those conferences and bring them in. Anything else before I let you go related to this report? Where to find it? What do you want folks to do?
I appreciate the time. Our next report will be out within probably 30 days, which is I did a what if, the Rio Grande Valley were considered an MSA. That came from, one of our supporters. They wanted to know about it. We're creating a report, with all the metrics that an MSA would have. And just to give you a little bit of information, if we would be considered an MSA with the data that we have, we would rank in the top 50. We would be at 42 out of 393 MSAs if we consider the RGV, the 4-county region, as an MSA. So if we were to promote that way with those numbers, with that data, I think it creates a lot more credibility for our region, and it shows that we have the manpower, the workforce pipeline, the educational system, the commuting patterns to become an MSA as well.
I'm really looking forward to that report coming up. As you know, that's always part of a conversation when we talk about development down here. Thank you, Adam. And we'll look forward to talking with you in a month or two. Look at that MSA report for the area. That's Adam Gonzalez. He's the CEO for COSTEP. That's the Council for South Texas Economic Progress. Be well, brother.
Thank you.
The Pulse of the 956. This is News Talk 710 KURV. Appreciate you joining us on the radio. Go find us on your smartphone. It's Radio Para Mí, the free app. The 710 KURV is your station for Astros baseball. They did good last night. Even better, the Spurs did great last night. Sports next on 710 KURV. I hope you make the call to good folks at Chamberlain Roofing and Waterproofing. As a property owner, building owner, you should call them for a free inspection. These are the top guys and gals, the top guys when it comes to roofing systems, commercial roofing systems. Almost 130 years, a culture of excellence, a culture of training and multitasking and cross-training, a culture of safety as well. You want to see what I'm talking about? Well, go see the couple of conversations I had with these good folks at KURV.com website. We got a couple of podcast conversations with them. Safety, number one. The other one is the cross-training. Chamberlain Roofing and Waterproofing, almost 130 years, top commercial roofers in this entire region. I don't think you can do any better. And it's these same people who can come over to your buildings, plural, as many as you have, and see if the commercial roofing system is okay. If there are any weak spots, you need to address this now and know what's going on with your roofing system. ChamberlainLTD.com is the website, ChamberlainLTD.com. The phone number, 956-655-6178.
Improve your overall health and enjoy a better quality of life with Dr. T's Primary Care. You're trying to set some new weight goals. If you're too moody or stressed out or just tired and trying to get more sleep, Dr. T's Primary Care can help you with all of that and more. If you're worried about things like low testosterone, Dr. T is a primary care provider from the sniffles to the flu and also offer menopause treatment, peptide treatment, and IV vitamin infusions. McAllen area, call 956-803-0058 and in Harlingen, 956-368-5247. That's drtsprimary.care.com.
When it comes to bad weather, being prepared is half the battle. The other half, leave it to Mike's Plumbing, Electrical, and AC. Be prepared this hurricane season and don't let anything take the power away from you, not even the weather. It's never too early to prepare for hurricane season. At Mike's Plumbing, Electrical, and AC, we want to help you stay ahead of the storm. Give us a call at 956-686-1353. That's 956-686-1353 or visit callmightymike.com. We can help you come up with a plan. That's callmightymike.com. Mighty Mike to the rescue.
Your Houston Astros are on the road to visit the LA Angels. Tune in later tonight. First pitch at 8:40. Powered by Dr. T's Primary Care for Men and Women and News Talk 710 KURV. Are you ready?
The 710 KURV Sports Desk is brought to you by Dr. T's Primary Care for Men and Women.
The San Antonio Spurs picked up the win against the New York Knicks in Game 3 of the NBA Finals last night. Final score, 115-110. The Spurs jumped out to a 12-point lead in the first quarter, but the Knicks rallied back, outscoring the Spurs by 18 in the second to go into the half up 7. The game came down to the wire in the fourth quarter. Leading by 3 with 12 seconds remaining, De'Aaron Fox hit a dagger to put the game out of reach for New York.
Towns holding on to Wemby. Fox gets into the paint, puts up jumper, got it! De'Aaron Fox with a clutch bucket right there. And it's back to a 5-point game. Timeout with 12.2 remaining. And the Garden has grown silent.
Clips courtesy of Mike Breen and ESPN. With a win, the Spurs now trail in the series 2-1. Game 4 will take place tomorrow night at Madison Square Garden. The Houston Astros squeaked by the Los Angeles Angels last night, winning by a score of 5-4. The Astros fell behind early, finding themselves down 3-0 after 2 innings. They clawed back to tie the game in the top of the 6th, but Angels shortstop Zach Neto hit a solo home run in the 7th to put the Astros down 1. Christian Walker hit an RBI single in the top of the 9th to extend the contest, and the game went into extra innings. Jake Myers was the hero in the 10th, hitting a sacrifice fly to bring Jose Altuve home to give the Astros the lead.
First pitch to Jake Myers, and he pops it up on the infield, which was playing in. Backing up in the shallow center is Madrigal. Second baseman makes the catch. Altuve's going to try and score. The throw to the plate gets past Ohapi. Altuve scores, and the Astros take a 5-4 lead.
The Astros will play the second game of their road series against the Angels tonight. With your Texas in the Morning Sports Report, I'm Adam C.
Go Spurs, man. Go Spurs. You got full throttle, nonstop, man. You got to, there's no other. With the Knicks, there's no other. Full throttle all the way, man. They can do it. It's a 2-3-2, Freddie. Ah, la torre. 2-2, which I'm talking about how many games. So one more in New York, and then back and forth. 1-1-1. Back and forth if needed. If needed, right? AccuWeather says highs today should be mid-90s, and right now temperatures low 80s, and the Border Bridge wait times, last numbers that we saw. Let me check to see if they've updated the. Usually it's B&M Brownsville. No, B&M is in good shape. Gateway, yeah, same thing, less than 10 minutes. Veterans Bridge, 5 to 10. So the only bridge that we saw with significant traffic, the Hidalgo Bridge headed back to McAllen, Edinburgh, and Mission, close to 1 hour. This is the Valley's Morning News on News Talk 710 KURV, business news and a check of your money. And the Attorney General of Texas going after some protein powder manufacturers, something about toxic heavy metals possibly in some of those. That's next on the Valley's Morning News.
Hi, this is Congresswoman Monica De La Cruz. Are you having difficulty getting answers from federal agencies? My office is here to help. Call us at 956-800-6069 to share your issue, and we will be in touch. Team De La Cruz is here to serve you. God bless. Paid for with official funds from the office of Congresswoman De La Cruz.
It takes time and patience and expertise to find the perfect fit, the perfect home that fits your family. That's why you need the Ryan and Brian real estate team. You can ask Randy and Jennifer. They just worked with my buddy Brian Reed, and his team helped them find a new home. They were moving from out of state, decided to settle in here in Mission. The Ryan and Brian team agent, Carla, understood the sense of urgency. Their old home sold so fast that they didn't have much time to wait to buy a new one. So Carla, the agent, knew some perfect homes in the area to show Randy and Jennifer. And the Ryan and Brian team knows about all the best ones in the Valley. Many times, the Ryan and Brian team, they know of homes that are about to hit the market before they're listed. Advantage you if you work with the Ryan and Brian real estate team. These are the only folks I've called, only people I will call to help me buy or sell a home. It's the Ryan and Brian real estate team. Randy and Jennifer found that perfect home thanks to the Ryan and Brian team. This could be you, amigo. And of course, with the negotiating skills, you save lots of money when purchasing a home as well with Ryan and Brian. Here's the number to call, 956-540-2536. The website, ryanandbrian.com. That's ryanandbrian.com.
If you're selling your home, don't be trying. Call Ryan and Brian. Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
ZipRecruiter.
Audio streaming on KURV.com. Powered by South Texas Buick GMC, McAllen Mission.
Your Money Now, brought to you by the Ryan and Brian Real Estate Team. Call 956-540-2536, 956-540-2536, or online at ryanandbrian.com.
I'm Nicole Murray with Your Money Now. Executive Vice President Stella Lee said on CNBC that BYD expects China's electric vehicle market to grow further, eventually comprising 80% of sales. Lee's statements come as Chinese demand for gas-powered cars has slowed on rising fuel costs, and as BYD halted a protracted sales slump in May. China's trade growth held better than expected in May. Customs data says that overall exports rose by 19.4% from a year earlier in U.S. dollar value terms, accelerating from the 14.1% gain in April. Economists polled by Reuters had pegged growth at 15%. NVIDIA CEO Jensen Huang has declined Massachusetts Senator Elizabeth Warren's invitation to testify before the Senate Banking Committee at a June 11th hearing on AI, as well as China and U.S. technological dominance. Warren criticized Huang's decision, saying the American people deserve answers in a public forum. Futures are moderately higher as oil prices drop. That's Your Money Now.
AccuWeather says highs today should be mid-90s. At the moment, 80 to 81 across the valley. Thank you for waking up with News Talk 710 KURV. Why is the Texas Attorney General, Ken Paxton, going after some protein powder manufacturers? That's coming up in about 3 minutes on the Valley's Morning News. You got lots of things to do today, I understand. And you got the kids and activities, and first of all, you thank God for getting out of bed, and you look to the sky and say, Lord, help me today in my career. Help me today in my job. You got to make some money, right, to feed the kids. But you probably also are taking care of your parents who are advanced in age, and you stress about them needlessly. May I remind you, you are not alone in taking care of your mom and dad where they wish to be. That's part of the stress, isn't it? Oh, man, I want them to be happy. I want them to be in their home, in familiar surroundings. They're happy at home. They just want to be left alone. They want to be happy and taken care of because they need help. I was there twice with my mom and then my dad. Well, actually, my dad first, then my mom. You're not alone. Healthcare Unlimited is waiting for your call. The daily bathing and grooming and cleaning up that bed, and the daily meal and cleaning up the house, a little bit of medical care, check the blood for sugar, blood pressure, all those things. Are they taking the medicines? Well, Healthcare Unlimited can make sure that they are. They're sweet people, godly people, special heart. You are not alone. Call Healthcare Unlimited. They're going to help you take care of your mom and dad in their home where they wish to be and where you want them to be happy. 956-994-9911, Healthcare Unlimited.
Welcome home. Welcome to Edinburgh, a city where quality of life meets opportunity. Experience vibrant festivals, sports, and community events, and share in the pride as UTRGV Division I football brings fans and spirit to the valley. Here, you enjoy the perfect balance. Big city amenities combined with small town warmth, with excellent schools, a safe community, and plenty of ways to explore and unwind. Edinburgh is a city to call home. Pursue your passions and truly thrive. Discover the quality of life that makes Edinburgh special at edinburghedc.com.
You go, Dad.
At LSNB, we build strong foundations on values that matter.
And business practices you can rely on.
Investing in education.
Volunteering in the communities we serve.
And fueling our region's economy.
For over 40 years.
Our mission has been supporting area businesses.
We are LSNB.
Donating more money to more causes than all other area banks combined.
Here, in a place we call home. We are LSNB.
The Valley's Bank.
This is your news, weather, and talk station. News Talk 710, KURV, and KURV.com.
pulse of the 956 News Talk 710 KURV. It's an honor that you join us this time every weekday. I'm Sergio Sanchez, along with show producer Fred Cruz. Jason Caterina from AccuWeather. He's on standby. We'll look at the tropics again and look at Texas weather. Join us for live conversations with AccuWeather at 7:09 and 8:09 on the Valley's Morning News. News on 710 KURV. Service of Jay Gonzalez Injury Attorneys, ready to fight for you. Call 1-800-CAR-CRASH.
Fox News, I'm CJ Papa. Voters going to the polls in Maine for its primary.
Democrats essentially facing off against themselves as to whether or not to support this controversial candidate, Graham Plattner, an oysterman, a Marine and Army veteran. He's also facing a slew of scandals here. The latest rough headline comes via Plattner's former political director, titled, "I know firsthand why Graham Plattner shouldn't be a U.S. Senator."
Fox's Marley Line reporting from Portland. Primaries also taking place in South Carolina, Nevada, and North Dakota. President Trump pushes for peace with Iran, saying it could come in a few days. Meanwhile,
CENTCOM gave an update on those 2 helicopter crew members that were lost at sea. We're told that they were rescued by American forces after their helicopter went down.
That's Fox's Aisha Hajni at the White House. U.S. Central Command says those soldiers are in stable condition. America is listening to Fox News.
14 minutes to the hour on the Valley's Morning News. So the arrival of this invasive flesh-eating insect is not a harm to you. It's not an issue for humans, but it could affect the state's billion-dollar ag industry.
A screwworm infection can kill a cow in days, and it comes at a time when cattle herds are at record low levels. Instead of looking to grow their herd, ranchers are forced to focus on keeping their cows healthy. Texas A&M's David Anderson says that means more manpower to do inspections and costly medicine.
Right there is the recipe for producing fewer cattle and less beef.
Which in turn means that the price of beef, which has gone up roughly 75% this decade, could continue to rise.
Michael Board with that report. As I mentioned before the break, the Texas Attorney General is going after protein powder. So protein powder manufacturers, the latest target of Texas Attorney General Ken Paxton, following California in investigating them over charges that they may contain some toxic heavy metals.
Paxton launched an industry-wide investigation into protein powder manufacturers, he says, to protect Texans from heavy metals like lead and cadmium. Paxton mentioned in a release that Consumer Reports tested 23 products and found lead levels in plant-based protein powders, on average, 9 times higher than those made with dairy proteins. Currently, California is the primary state investigating the protein powder industry and pushing legislation to mandate the testing for toxic heavy metals and public disclosure of the results. In Austin, Chris Fox, News Talk 710 KURV.
And geological scientists over at the U.S. Geological Survey, they're busy looking into an earthquake that struck just off the western coast of Cuba.
USGS scientist Derek Goldberg says this quake was strong for a part of the world that isn't active for earthquakes.
This is the largest instrumentally recorded earthquake in the Gulf of America since at least 1950.
The magnitude of the quake was 6.1. Its depth was 26 kilometers. Goldberg said this earthquake formed on the same tectonic plate rather than at a plate boundary. I'm Mark Mayfield.
Yeah, that interesting quake in the Gulf off of Cuba. Just a couple of days removed from another headline out of the Philippines, deadly earthquake in the Philippines this past weekend. This is the Valley's Morning News on News Talk 710 KURV. Join us on your smartphone. The way to do that, find us at Radio Para Mi. It's a free app. 710 KURV is at Radio Para Mi. Download it today.
If you want to keep your storefront as it is, well, your business. If you want a beautiful new storefront, now that's our business with Refresh 50/50. Refresh 50/50 is the City of McAllen's grant program that offers up to $25,000 in matching funds to beautify your storefront. Refresh 50/50 provides funds for improvements like new doors and windows, exterior paintings and art projects, and repair or removal of old signs and awnings. Add new lighting to enhance your storefront, install permanent landscaping, or finally repair roofs, stucco, and other parts of your exterior. The City of McAllen increased Refresh 50